Hi, I'm Dustin Saya with SPC Sports and Sports Center with my co-host Griffin Green and Isaiah Scott. Today we will be talking about how the Dallas Mavericks and the Dallas Cowboys will perform in their upcoming seasons. Griffin, how do you think the Dallas Cowboys will perform in their upcoming season?
Well, I definitely think that they regressed this past season. Losing Amari Cooper and Randy Gregory should be tough. But I think that although the Cowboys lost their star wide receiver, they definitely have some depth. I mean, last year they drafted Simi Fehoko. I think he should be good. And then we signed James Washington. He's a quick guy out of Pittsburgh. He could be helpful. We also drafted Jalen Tolbert this year. So I think although our wide receiver room may decrease, I think we'll still be fine. And I think we actually had like a B-tier draft. I think it filled some of our holes. We're definitely going to be a worse team than last year. But last year, I felt like we had the talent to win a Super Bowl. We just didn't have the teamwork. So I think it really depends on, can Dak step up in the playoffs? How will Zeke play? Will Tony Pollard get more touches? And if that happens, I can see them making a run. I can also see them having a disappointing season.
So how do you feel about the Cowboys running back situation? Do you think Ezekiel Elliott will stay at the number one spot and Tony Pollard will stay getting his couple touches per game, or do you think that may even out with both of them getting the same amount of carries?
So, yeah, I think that they'll have a situation similar to Kamara and Ingram and, I forget when, a couple years back where they get pretty much equal carries. I will say that I think Zeke will still end up getting slightly more carries, but I think that Pollard's carries are going to greatly increase and that it's going to be well-deserved.
Yeah, you could definitely tell from last season that they did need to up his carries. Isaiah, how do you feel about the Mavericks going into next season with their, new coach Jason Kidd coming in last season with Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans? This season they had a great run in the playoffs, shooting really well. Defense got a lot better. How do you think this carries over into next season?
Well, I think Jason Kidd's doing a really good job on coaching the Mavericks, and I think that they're going to make the playoffs again, and maybe if they don't play like worse teams, harder teams, they might be able to get higher in the playoffs and maybe even have a chance to go to the finals. And I think they really have a chance to win the finals.
Do you see any more trades coming in the future with the Mavericks, maybe trying to flip one of the players that they got in the recent trade with the Washington Wizards, flipping Bertans or Dinwiddie to another team, maybe to get a pick or another center for Luka to play off of, like Rudy Gobert? Do you see any of that happening in the near future?
Well, I don't think they're going to draft Dinwiddie because he's a really good player on their team and he helped them a lot in the playoffs. But maybe they might trade Bertans for a couple picks in the next draft or a different role player.
Griffin, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think that a Jalen Brunson trade is possible, and I know Brunson really emerged as a star for our team. However, I think there's a really good chance that he leaves in the offseason, and I think getting a trade might help us. So I could definitely see a Jalen Brunson trade, and I think he's worth that first-round value. He proved it this season and in the playoffs. So I could see that trade happening, maybe for a big to build around Luka.
It looks like that we have a question from Striped Shirt. So his question was, if Steph Curry were to leave the Warriors, would he come to the Mavs? And personally for me, I don't think that he will want to leave the Warriors. But I think if he did, I think he wouldn't want to come to the Mavs necessarily. Because I think Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson kind of we're going to pay Jalen Brunson the big bucks to come back to Dallas, hopefully. And I think he doesn't already having to be second place behind Luka, and he doesn't always like how Luka holds the ball. So I don't think Stephen Curry would be a great fit for our team's chemistry. Isaiah, what do you think about that question?
Well, I think Steve Kerr is not thinking of trading Steph Curry anytime soon because Steph Curry, he's been on the Warriors for a long time, ever since he got drafted, and he has chemistry with all of his players like Iguodala, Looney, Clay, and Draymond. I think he's just going to stay there because he's a big piece of their team.
Yeah. And I also don't think Dallas is really looking to get a star. I don't think even if they could somehow get a KD or a Curry, I don't think they would want to do that right now. I think what's best in their interest is building the team around Luka, getting four, maybe I would prefer like, I don't know, 4 like average players to build around Luka rather than one superstar. I think Luka and another superstar will kind of not mesh, especially considering Luka's play style. And I think we've realized that some super teams aren't necessarily working. Like the Lakers, that's not a team that's working. I think right now in the NBA, the play is to have one star and build around him rather than get multiple stars. We've seen that with the Nets, the Lakers. I think that's probably a good idea for the Mavs.
Yeah, definitely. That was Sports Center with your host, Dustin Saya, co-host Isaiah Scott, and Griffin Green. Thank you for watching.